Yes, hey folks, it's Torah Talk. I'm Levi Ben Abraham, aka Luke Ford, along with Rabbi Rabs. And we're coming up on the second to last Torah portion in the book of Genesis. This Torah portion of Vayigash. And it's Genesis 44 to 47, basically. And I'm really disappointed because my personality disorder is not going to be listed in the new DSM-5. The narcissistic personality disorder characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and the need for constant attention. It's been eliminated from the upcoming manual of mental disorders, which psychiatrists use to diagnose mental illness. So it's like, I hate it, they're ignoring me. And that's one thing that a narcissist hates, is to be ignored.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long ago they had to take off another one of yours.
Yeah, homosexuality.
How did you know I was going there?
So it's like
Make sure you're in the camera with me.
I feel like I'm totally being like dissed by the...
Yeah.
Like, what's up with my disorders? Can't they... You know, can't they fit me in?
See, I'm barely in the camera over here. You see that?
Yeah, well, I'm barely in it too, so we'll be barely in it together.
So why don't you just reposition this camera?
Because we both need to fit.
In that, reposition that camera so that they're not just looking at, you know, like, hi.
Okay, so how are we going to do without our... Is your personality disorder, did it make the list for DSM-5?
I don't, you know what, I didn't read the DSM-5 today. That was one of the things I was going to do. I own the DSM-5, you know, I've got anxiety, which is like, comes out, I'm OCD, depression, anxiety, agoraphobia, it's all, according to the last shrink I saw, it's all based on the same chemical that's being released in the brain. And for $180, they'll tell you exactly what that chemical is.
Did they prescribe medication?
Yeah, I got Prozac.
And what did it do for you?
I'm on Prozac and I ain't going back no more.
How long you been on Prozac?
I was on it last summer, right after the engagement ended.
Mm-hmm.
I was on it for probably a couple of months, 3 months. I ran out of money. I couldn't afford to get a I got 3 refills, right? The pills aren't so expensive, but going back to the damn shrink to get him to sign off of it was way beyond what I could pay for. So I just stopped. But you know what? Prozac didn't do much for me, but I'll tell you what it did do.
Yeah.
It makes it so that you cannot manufacture a hard-on.
That's what I was going to inquire about, your erections.
That ends.
That's good. I mean,
no, here's the thing.
That thing was only getting you into trouble. Remember that little bit of bother with the 13-year-old boy?
Here's the thing. You know, it's like, when my engagement ended, I got depressed, so I was on Prozac, right?
Right.
If that didn't happen, I wouldn't need it. But if I were somehow got back together and got married,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to take Viagra. Because I was just like dead down there.
That's a good thing, though. That only causes you psoriasis. Right? It only comes between you and Hashem. And his Torah.
Well, just think if every guy if every guy was on Prozac and nobody could get aroused down there, that would be the end of civilization.
Well, it might be the beginning.
There would be no more kids. I'm just like, boo! Hey, you want one of these?
No, thank you.
You sure?
So I'm feeling much better.
Oh yeah, let's inquire. Everybody wants to know how your nose is.
Yeah, much better.
Are you able to pick your nose?
Oy vey!
No, I'm asking a question. Are you able to pick
That's
your nose?
disgusting. A Torah scholar does not pick his nose.
Oh, okay, I don't pick, but I shovel.
That's disgusting! What kind of... Here I am trying to walk in the pathways of Hashem, and...
He gives you a nose. What do you think you're supposed to do with it? You're supposed to pick it.
You're supposed to breathe through it.
Oh, are you doing that, though? Are you breathing?
Yes, I'm breathing much better.
Do you use a straw?
No, I didn't use a straw. I got the stitches out on Friday. I got the stints out on...
And you didn't even ask me to drive you.
No, I didn't need to. I'm doing great, so
Okay,
I can breathe, and I'm ready to talk to her.
Now, let's talk about the important part. Are you sleeping all night?
No, my sleeping is not good.
So what was the whole point?
Well, I couldn't breathe through my nose when I was lying down, so that sucked, and I had trouble breathing through my nose even standing up. So Now I'm doing much better. The sleep, I've got a consultation with a sleep doctor in a few weeks. So.
And sleep doctor, are they in the DSM-5?
I doubt it.
Okay. So, so what do you want to talk about first?
Well, you're going to rant about psychiatry again. So
no, I figure we'll get to that at some point. That just happened. It's not something you like planned for. Just
oh, that's just going to come out.
Yeah, it's like certain things you know we're going to talk about.
Right,
you know.
right.
I thought that one of the things I would do right away is get to last week's questions. Is anybody in there? Is Ginger in the room?
No, I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
Why does a team like Dallas Cowboys keep the same identity over 4 decades as a finesse football team, and while say the Pittsburgh Steelers over the same last 40 years they've maintained their identity as a power football team?
Well, I liked what you wrote.
Is it because of the stadium? And
I liked that thing about the stadium, because the St. Louis Rams, when they won the Super Bowl, that's my team. They had the greatest. What is it? The greatest
passing attack. Yeah.
No. They called it the greatest show on turf.
Right.
The greatest show on turf, and they had 5 Olympic sprinters essentially as wide receivers.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay, and here's what we're going to do: 3-step drop, boom, 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 and Kurt Warner's just going to fire off these passes to these quick guys, and that was their. It was insane. They would stick 5 guys on the perimeter and no protection, and he would just step and drop and go, and they won it. And you know what? If you look during their heyday, because they all got hurt, and they won indoor games. They would win all 8 of their home games, and they would play Atlanta and New Orleans, and they would win those games on the road because they were at home. But if they had to go outdoors, it would suck. You know who else sucks outdoors? Brett Favre.
Oh, really? But Green Bay's outdoors.
I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Minnesota sucks outdoors.
Oh, Minnesota sucks.
It's not really Brett Favre's fault.
Okay.
Right. Minnesota would win all their games at home in the Metro. Now they moved out, but they would lose. They would win all their games at home and then lose on the road.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're indoors, you want to get sprinters. You want to get guys who can play in 72-degree weather.
But the Cowboys were not indoors, and they were always a finesse football team.
I don't really consider them finesse. They had some big hitters on that team.
I guess in the 90s under Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, okay.
They started using some power football.
They had a lot of finesse with Staubach running around.
Fast.
Staubach running around, but I always thought
Jimmy Johnson loves speed.
I thought of them always as a defensive team. They always had a massive front 4 guys, Randy White and 2 tall Jones.
I interviewed him.
Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to lose our entire audience here. I'm going to do the
questions from last week.
I'll do the questions from last week, and then the people who they can watch them on the video.
Yeah.
I'll start off with the one who I know is in the room. Is Gregory Koshkin.
Yeah.
So last week he said, Rabs, I submitted a psych essay term paper last week, and I think I did a crap job on it. What would you recommend to make a more polished paper next time? So because he's got a psych, I guess he's asking me because I'm such a proponent of psychology.
And that's it, because you write a lot of people's papers for them.
Yes, for
extra money on the side.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I got.
You need someone to write your college essay, particularly in religion class.
Here's what I would say, dude. How can you be a Rabs fan, follow me, and not know the answer to this one before we start? You got to talk about the cycle of abuse, right? That's what I stand for. Is the cycle of abuse. I've given you so much info. All you have to do is Google me and the cycle of abuse. Watch my videos. That's what you're going to do your paper on, right? 100% of the people who are abusers grew up abused. 33% of all people who grew up abused will turn out to be abusers. That's your paper. Talk about how people are not willing to. The 1/3 of the people who are continuing this cycle are not willing to do what it takes and cut off the cycle for good by resolving not to have kids.
Yeah.
Right? And, oh, by the way, psychology and all that, psychotherapy isn't going to do jack diddly squat, right? Is people will
because if it didn't work for Rabs, it won't work for anyone.
There could be exceptions. It maybe.
I think it definitely helps me.
Look, this guy's living in a frickin' hovel because he's given all his money to these shrinks. And what have they done?
At least I'm cool. And well, I